Yes, so welcome viewer. If you're joining right now, we doing the Cardinal Talk Show. Remember, it's a show that comes to you looking at matters that actually happen in the political field. And today we were trying to dissect what the KPMG Verified Register for IEBC voter registration is all about. And indeed, it's a matter that has gripped a lot, and it's not spoken in loud volumes like it's supposed to be spoken. The low numbers of voter registration that we have in this country is a worrying trend. The low numbers of the youth who are enthusiastic, or rather not enthusiastic, to go and register. Another big problem, the fact that our elections are highly contested sometimes, is a recipe for chaos and need some clear mechanisms on how to deal with it. And that is why we delved onto the matters of complementary verification system of the voters on the material day of the voting. And this is a matter that is being worked on. IEBC better get this right, because this time round there would be no excuses. However, Chebukati says he went into this having known so well that in the Supreme Court ruling of 2017, it raised a lot of gray areas to want to know how how the complementary voter register and the KIMS kit actually related in and during the process of the election. So it's still a hard ball to crack. However, we still expect the best, because there's time to do all the corrections necessary, I believe. Yes, we are with Kenyan Ludi, governance expert. We are now going straight into the numbers that actually came out. The numbers, about 5.6 million Kenyans are in places considered as, swing vote areas. And I would define a swing vote area in the Kenyan context is just up to you. But then in US, we know there are states.
Swing states, yeah.
There are states that will always be swing states, yes. And then there are states that would always be strongholds. Like Republicans would never mind about Texas. They know that is a stronghold.
Yes.
It's so much given.
Yes.
So in our context, I don't know where our Texas is. I don't know where our where Arizona is, because Arizona would be Democrats. You don't have to think about that. Yeah. So I don't know where our Arizona and our Texas is in this context, and the Ohio, things like that. Just in our context, when you say that 5.6 million votes are there, and the presidential candidates should go out and ensure that they grab the majority of them to win these elections. This is said noting that William Ruto and Raila Odinga, if we leave alone Wajakoya and Wahiga, are the front runners in this. But we are told all of them start this race at 2 million votes. Comfortably at 2 million votes. Then now you go out to get the votes. However, at these 2 million votes, there's still 5.6 votes somewhere that somebody really has to put together and draw onto their sides. I mean, what's your take about this?
Yeah, it's true. We are also having the blue
and red states.
The blue states or
and the yellow states.
Counties, and the yellow states or counties.
okay, I like
we are slowly getting there.
Okay, there's a Kenya Kwanza.
Yes, talking of either blue or yellow as an undercoat, and now putting some blue. Now the marangi and the stuff. So there've been a lot of jokes around it. But truth be told, because our elections have been traditionally ethnically driven. Okay, and people so coalesce around the so-called ethnic kingpins, then to marshal numbers to add to their votes. Kenya Kwanza denied it, trashed it, but they realized that that's the reality. So making a government with the hustler, Wenjiku, and Mamboga, the border, did not go well. So I had to pick people like Mama DVD and Kingi, Tangola, Tour, and to put the face that, because the thing is that now in this formation, where is our face? Okay. So with that, the two have got a head start of 2 million, the front runners. That is His Excellency Deputy Prime Minister, or Deputy President, and from Prime Minister Odinga. So they have, that is basically their traditional ethnic background. Now, the swing region is Mount Kenya. which is more of the
Kenya
Kenya
Kwanza.
Kwanza, because they've been there for some time. And then there are those pockets within Rift Valley. There are actually 11 states, 11 swing states or 11 counties, which are perceived to be still oscillating either or. So it forces the candidates to make inroads and make forays to ensure that they galvanize and change the perspective of those people. Most of them actually around 20%, because a lot of polls have been done between 16 to 20% of the so-called undecided voters, who are perceived to be predominantly coming from those swing states or counties. And this is because, one, those counties do not have or regions, they don't have a presidential candidate who is formidable. And number two, the traditional voting patterns have always gone either another direction, but now it's up for grabs. So it's true that we have got some states or counties or regions which are perceived to be swing states or swing regions or counties. And this is disputable depending on which side of formation you are talking from. For instance, Kajiado, it's perceived to be one of those swing states. Narok, Nakuru, Kwale, you go to Turkana, Marsabit, you go again to Elgeyo Marakwet, up there, West Pokot, and then Bungoma, Trans Nzoia, because even within the Western zone, even though there is no candidate from Western Kenya, Mulembe Nation, so to speak, but there are those Mulembe counties which are traditionally Raila diehards. So they are not part of the swing states. This is, for instance, Busia and Kakamega and Vihiga. But then again, you go to Bungoma, it's always slippery. It's like liver, it can go in either or. Trans Nzoia again. Now you come to those other Elgeyo Marakwet and other counties in the north Rift. You come to Narok again, because this is more of pastoralist communities counties within Rift Valley, and you go up again. Tharaka Nithi again. So Lower Eastern is perceived to be under Azimio. Some pockets of coastal region like Mombasa, Kilifi, Tana River, Taita Taveta, those are traditionally, but now Kwale, because of Mvurya, is perceived to be a swing vote county, as well as Lamu, because though Lamu has only took our constituencies. So it's true, and that's why you see the leading presidential candidates, other than Jakoya, there was a coverage, an analysis of the trips that both the leading candidates have made, and you could see, like Kenya Kwanza presidential candidate had made such trips in Mount Kenya region 36 times. About since January, which is a bit shocking. But that tells that now those are regions whereby if you don't go there regularly, people might change their minds. And you've been seeing this happening, that if Azimio goes into one region, those perceived strongholds, swing states, then Kenya Kwanza will go there within 1 week or 4 days, 2 days. Why? Because any foreign made, they want to counter. So those are the critical deciding counties in these elections. And those 5.8 or 4 point whatever dimension you give it, are going to be very crucial in determining who will get 50% plus 1. Number two, the Constitution of Kenya 2010 presupposes that any candidate, apart from getting 50% plus 1 of the votes cast, also must get a minimum of 25% of the at least half.
24, at least 24
Yeah,
counties.
so 24. Yeah, so they're trying to do those math as well to go into those perceived swing counties other than their backyard. Backyards don't have much to do because that is like what? A sure bet.
Sure bet.
Yeah.
So now it's going to the home stretch now.
Yeah.
And on these sides will be re-strategizing and then attacking the campaigns depending on what the others will do.
Yeah.
Now, what tricks are there perhaps for these two formations that would make or break for any of these sides? Because it's a home stretch, you remember. In the last 3 weeks to elections, it will be crazy.
Yeah.
I know it will be movement and movement and movement.
Yes.
I've seen they are deploying tactics almost similar. If you look at what Kenya Kwanza is doing, they will dispatch Rigathi Gachagua to go to areas perceived to be Kikuyu-dominated areas, and Ruto will be in other places. Martha will also be in Kikuyu-dominated areas, while Raila is in other places. So up to now, it seems it's a copy and paste thing. I just don't know what will actually be the most paradigm shift in terms of campaign strategies for these two guys to actually ensure that the swing votes are galvanized more on either side.
Critical to note one, the leading presidential candidates have worked, campaigned together in the past. So they know one another. Okay. Ruto and Raila were in the Pentagon. Okay.
That was way back.
Well, way back, but now they'd learned out and stuff, okay? They'd gone through almost every length and breadth of this country, and they know how to do these things together. So there will be no major paradigm shift on the how they're going to do this. But the tactics that you mentioned, one, you'll find, because politics is local, so they'll dispatch a local leading face to also appease and also resonate with the folks within a given vote hunt region. Number two is the issue of messaging. They'll have to craft a message which is attractive, or in other words, sexy messages to the people, not sexiness, but what makes exciting the people. They're one, oh, this is like our thing. So they will craft messages which are more attractive, which are blended with the hope and painting a difference from the present or status quo. Now this is where a season of what? Carrot dangling. You were able to watch this week the issue of the land question, for instance, which has been dominating our history since time memorial. And you can hear when they go to the coast, like Ruto was in the coast this week, and he's promising to do what? Buy X number what? Land and give to what? The squatters. So these are the kind of things that they'll be talking about. They'll be crafting a message. If they went to the Mount Kenya region, they'll craft a message resonating because they're what? Predominantly agricultural community. If they went to Nyanza, you'll find them talk about matters to do with either manufacturing or growing of cotton and also fishing industry and the like. If they went to Mumias, Western Kenya, they'll talk about something around the sugar belt and the like. So messaging will be packaged all and packed to suit what is music to the ears of the what? Of the common man. The truth of the matter, you can hear and see the so-called town hall meetings, which has been there for the past like 6 months or so. Basically to tease out some of the things that the locals would want to be what? Addressed. Then thereafter, either signing an MOU or a charter and the like to make the people know that now this is our own thing. So those are some of the tactics that they'll be trying to use to make the undecided or swing states to at least what? Swing towards their side.
Well, I just mentioned to you that you see a situation where Rigathi will be in Molo, in Nakuru,
Mount Kenya
region, and not getting to other places so frequently.
Yeah.
Does it give us another thinking of what a running mate is all supposed to be? Is it giving a definition of a running mate differently from what we've always thought? Or is it just a new way of doing our local politics? Because you say local, our politics is all local.
Yeah.
Just Martha Karua also would be like Kibia, should be Kerugoya, and again meander in those places, and then you see after 1 week they meet somewhere together. Like now, Martha and Raila were in Marsabit, and then we had Rigathi in Nakuru County, and then now there's somewhere I think in the coast.
Yeah.
To me, there's nothing really new, because somebody seems to be copying the other, somebody seems to be copying the other.
Now, you asked why? Because they're perfecting. Actually, one of the rationale, one of the qualification of regarding Gachagua to have been arrived at. I think we discussed that because it's like a month since he was nominated as the running with deputy president designate from the Kenya Kwanza. And you can see, and as per our previous analysis, that all the votes and the staff were not in his favor. But again, the candidate for Kenya Kwanza, or UDA, saw something that he could do at the local. So basically, in my thinking, he was given the mandate to perfect, shield, and ensure that there's no infringement within Mount Kenya region. Has it worked? Yes, no, maybe, depending on your analysis. But I think it has not really worked. But though the taste of the pudding is in the eating, you see, because you've seen numbers crumbling. Now you also mentioned that Martha also being around Mount Kenya region and stuff, predominantly the house of Mumbi speaking group. And but I tend to disagree a bit, because we've seen Martha going even off, but with the focus more on Mount Kenya. I think that's why the two leading presidential contenders settled for the running mates from Mount Kenya. Why? Mount Kenya is the biggest swing region in this election, because it's not producing a formidable presidential candidate. That's why you see those kind of a bit of perfecting and watching and being a watchdog of that particular region, that no one comes in to take what was already the vote basket. But I think it has not really worked so much as per the anticipation of the Kenya Kwanza. You saw the tissues, the misunderstanding between Kabogo and Kenya Kwanza and the like. So those kind of stuff are indicators that there is some crack which is happening at the bottom of the glass.
Okay, so at the bottom of the pot, yes, of course, I thought we'd come to that maybe a little bit later, but then now that you brought it, let us just delve into it. Gachagua being accused of being a bully and trying to trample on every other person who is perceived to be, that could be having a voice in Mount Kenya region. And of course, Moses Kuria is a vocal one, Kabogo is a vocal one. They all are looking to be governors of Kiambu. They have their legions of supporters, and they wanted to have the party in their name. But then Gachagua told them, guys, it's my business. I'm the deputy president in this region. So time has come, you deal with me as your superior. And it didn't go down well with them. And the people like Kabogo thought that this is what happened during the Jubilee time. I remember Moses Kuria talking so harshly about how they would even leave the Kenya Kwanza thing and they focus on their own businesses. Now, these are signs of democracy anyway. But then again, like you say, they are signs of emerging cracks in the Kenya Kwanza. And I'm told Ruto must have met them somewhere silently or discreetly to dissuade them from giving public utterances that perhaps would jeopardize or rather cause some more trouble or rock the boat of Kenya Kwanza. Now, with Gachagua in this, what does it then bring Gachagua out as? Because it's supposed to be a unifying factor in Mount Kenya, not the other way around. And when there's this hue and cry from supposedly team members who are with him, what does it say? Is it competing egos? Is it supremacy contest in Mount Kenya region? Is it the Uhuru succession that people are looking for? Or is it the kingpinship that people are supposed to be, jostling for? What is your take about that?
It's all of those and none of those. One, I think I told you the other time that regarding Gachagua is still a political novice, because he's serving his first term. people like Kafogo who have been there, who have done 3 terms, 2 terms as an MP, then again as a governor, then was aged out through flawed nomination process, and was in charge. Actually, he's gone public and saying, and so in terms of pecking order, political experience and stuff, Kafogo and the likes felt that it was too premature for Rigathi to be their spokesperson. Like, so part of it is about succession, likely succession actually, on who is going to be calling the shots post-president, or who is exit from the political stage. Now, the implications that you asked, some are dire. They are trying to work around that, and there are some cracks, of course, but definitely there is some leak on the boat of the canoe or of the ship. So how it's going to dock at the end of the sea or of the river or of the lake, we are waiting to see. But the truth of the matter, things are not so much rosy as they were expected to be. This has made the 2 vocals to go public and state that this is being orchestrated and machinated by by their so-called
Deputy President.
Yeah. So as a result, they are not happy, and I think this is having some kind of collateral damage to the supporters of Kenya Kwanza, and it's a plus to Azimio, because they're getting more of attraction in that effect. And number 2, or number 3, we all know that Rigathi had a baggage as he was coming into this. He had a baggage. So being accused of a bully, a dictator, a Dio mentality, colonial Dio in our time, and so forth and so on, and those kind of definitions, has made him not to be to be on harmony with the members of the team. So as a result, he's got his lanes. You step on his lane, then you get him. It's a rough edge and a cutting edge as well. So we want to see how it's going to end. But so far, there's a lot of questions.
What about Martha?
Yeah, Martha
she's somehow had a smooth ride. Yeah. Ever since her naming as a running mate to Raila Odinga. Her journey has not been so bumpy. She's been getting it very easy sometimes. It's so seamless, and it's about she's rowing in Mount Kenya without any turbulent winds or turbulent kind of currents right now. Even if you were to ask Kenya Kwanza team from Mount Kenya, they'll tell you that they respect her. They've given her the decorum and her space in terms of political experience, and that respect has made her to get that kind of seamless kind of landing in all the 11 counties within the 11 or 8 within the Mount Kenya region, because of again her approach. She's tactful and speak more on issues. If you listen to her campaign trail and stuff, all those homecoming stuff, she's composed and she knows what she's talking of, based on political experience and also the reality. While Rigathi is still painting more of a futuristic, which is not based on the past. So as a result, you see Martha is getting a bit of traction from, again, sober group of people within Mount Kenya. And shockingly, again, statistically, we are told that based on the KPMG clean air data, 63% of the people who are going to cast their votes are within the age bracket. So let's see how things are going to play out in the next 7 weeks, which are remaining, the next 40 or so days. About 40 something days.
Yeah.
No, so telling. And it's so interesting in our times that our community produces 2 presidential running mates at a time that everybody is now looking at them. And it's been quite a momentous time. I looked at what is happening in Mount Kenya right now, all the way from Meru to Juja and to Githurai. They consider that Mount Kenya region. If you look at what is happening, at one point, people thought that Martha would really run into serious headwinds in her campaigns. It's been smooth. Number two, she seems to be having a language that these guys listen to, and it's music in their ears, and they want to listen to it again and again and again. I don't know what it is, but it appears something like that is happening.
Yeah, it goes back again to experience and also message.
Oh, she's so experienced.
Yes, she's experienced. Remember, she'd served as member of parliament for
and even in 2013 ran as a
candidate, and then again being a minister for president. So she's really aware.
She's also been a magistrate.
She's been also a magistrate. I know. So
also she served in two arms of the government.
Absolutely. So both judiciary and actually 3 arms. Actually, all the arms. Yeah, plus being a loyal citizen and with some traction for the civil society. So Martha again, I mean, there's a line. It's like day and night. Truth be told, and this is again known even within the ranks and files of play. That's what I'm saying sometimes, that this thing will end in premium tiers because of the kind of reception, because the kind of messaging, because the kind of audience that attend her meetings. Talk of town halls. You will not see this kind of yo-yo guys, the Generation Z. You'll find sober people who are there, who have gone through the run and know what they want. So if you come with some promissory notes that you will give them X tomorrow, and yet you promise them this, and you never deliver to them, yet you're in the government, you're talking of you will work on the price of, I mean, they just listen to you, then okay, fine, we will make a decision at some point. Number two is the aspect of the people around her. You know, she's behaving also presidential. You can see she can do 3-4 meetings. From this week she was at the Azimio council meeting, and then again flew to Nakuru. And she can do those because again there is some team behind her organizing and guiding on what to be done. Sober team. The team behind regarding, yes, there's a team, but we are not so sure on the complementarity, how this thing plays out. And so you see, Martha is getting traction everywhere in the Mount Kenya region. Whether it shall translate into votes, we are yet going to see.
Well, it's a comparative analysis of two presidential candidates and what they are bringing, especially in the largest swing vote area of Mount Kenya in these elections. Remember, Mount Kenya actually has the majority of votes in this country. And again, they are very lucky to be having two presidential running mates from the same region. In fact, at one point, it was said that these elections will be decided by Mount Kenya. And seemingly, as things look like, as things seems to run, it perhaps looks like it would be true that Mount Kenya would be the determining vote in these elections. However, it's important to also note that every other region in Kenya plays complementary and essential role just as any other in these elections, and therefore everyone is duty bound from any region in this country to play their civic duty of voting and wanting to make the change that you feel you desire so much. And that is only possible through your vote. Therefore, come out and vote is the message that must really start resonating right now. Get out there, go vote, tell a friend, tell any other person to go vote. What actually captured your imagination over the year, Kenyanito, as we wind up, because our time is...
Yeah, over the week, 2 things. One, the highlight was again taking my relative as a spokesperson for the imagination in the Marsabit, so that was a plus. What my down point was the cost of living, and this woman going to supermarket, the name withheld, was it Naivas? But let me spoken it. And the woman got in the teller and saw the price 20 shillings, and she just screamed. A point that things are not so good in this country. I know it's not only in this country, but it's everywhere. Because even in London this week, there was again a protest of the cost of living and the like. So it's such a high time where people are, this shortage of hunger, and we are predominantly
dollars.
Dollar and the like. So it's a global problem, but now it now comes down where people can scream, that means something must be done, and that was my lowest point for the week.
Thank you very much, viewer. It's a moment that all of us are actually going through an experience that we didn't think would come in our lifetime. However, we want to pray that things get back to normal as fast as possible, because any prolonged suffering to this extent in terms of cost of living is only detrimental to our own lives. One word, it's a phenomenon. I hope and believe that the world is watching and would really craft a solution as fast as possible to ensure that we go back to normal lives, because if people can't afford basic needs and basic requirements in their lives, then that is against the International Human Rights Charter of provision of food, shelter and clothing. That can't be allowed to fly. It can't just go. We can't just allow that. I want you to just say your statement of bye and we continue.
Thank you. Let's live carefully. Let's be very, very, very alert, because COVID, Omicron wave is still with us. As a country, let's not be so reckless. And above all, let us pray for this our land, that the Lord will bless us and keep us in the remaining 40 days or so as we prepare to cast our votes to our preferred candidates, from the ward rep to the president. God bless you. Thank you for listening.
Thank you very much, viewer. Let's meet again in this show next week. I hope and wish you a very, very wonderful week ahead.
Thank you.